I think, I mean, for me, it's just more actionable items, and I don't think that there really is anything from like outside of this committee, and so like I know that Adrian tries his best to fill up our time to be meaningful, but I think a little bit more like direction from the ADPC on what we really need to accomplish within our subcommittee, and then that way we can accomplish those items, and so.
Mhm. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And we will definitely do that. One of them that we do have today is a question had come up in legislature and even as part of the Secretary of State audit, specifically to recovery. It seems as though folks are having a really hard time coming up with a definition of recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Because one side, some definitions are abstinence based, if that, and others are more open. And so, that was one of the things that we were looking forward to discussing and then passing along. But yeah, we have to wait for those opportunities to arise, and that's one that did. But it's an ongoing conversation, so all is not lost. Go ahead, Adrian. You gotta say
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. No, I do. Like I think. It's writing what I'm saying right now. Sorry about that. Yeah, I kind of like agree with Amanda. And then also it's just maybe people. I know I've had this experience, and it's just maybe a little bit different because like I'm the chair, but realizing just like I don't want to say powerless, but like
Well, speak
I
truth
mean
to power.
I still think it's just there's a better word I can use, like lack of like potency behind like what we can do, and I don't think that that's anything that we can change, like unless you just restructure like the way the ADPC is designed, and like what areas of influence we have. And I think people might be feeling discouraged. I know I have, but I've kind of come to the conclusion that like, all right, regardless regardless of like how potent what we do is, or like how much immediate action there is, this is a platform that exists that's
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
than being like an individual with these concerns.
Yes.
um and
Yes.
I think just getting people to see that, I don't know, and there's also making people feel bad for not coming, but I don't
I don't know how to do that. You have to give me tips.
like I've thought about it,
I
like
give Starbucks cards and stuff like that. I don't know how to.
maybe something like that. I mean, there's literally, I'm not gonna say no names, but I just got on Facebook. Somebody just posted 7 minutes ago on their story, and I'm like, all right, I hope to see you at the meeting. Like, but
Get it.
that person's not here, so
I
um,
understand. I
you know,
understand. Okay. And we're taking it down. And I do, once we talk to folks, I do think part of it is explaining more or reminding of what, we are kind of a broker, a middleman. We're not the doers, but we do advise
mhm,
policy and people. And so we want to get your voices because, they don't think like you, they don't have your perspective. And so we don't want to lose that opportunity to bring to them, you guys' ideas and thoughts and
mhm,
perspectives. But I also understand that that gets frustrating, or because it
yeah,
moves so slowly. It's not, recommendation in August and September, it's implemented, right? I wish, but that's just not how the machine runs, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean we can't continue to make changes or to advocate for what you guys are asking for.
I mean, I think that's I feel like that's like my responsibility, given the platform that like I have and we have. One thing that we might be able to do, I don't know how effective this would be, because
Mm-hmm.
people actually have to like respond and participate, but sending some sort of like, poll out or questionnaire out, or something like that, to something to that extent that says something close to what you just asked us.
Okay.
Because then it's like, people, you're confronting people with the issue, and
Mhm.
if this is like one of the reasons, like I suspect it is, for lack of participation,
Mhm.
they have a really easy way of voicing, their concerns. And it's hard for me to believe that, unless they just don't see it like in their email or something, it's hard for me to believe that like all of these people that have like, personal and professional interest in participating in these meetings wouldn't take the opportunity to at least answer that question, like
Yeah.
why, what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
my hope is that we could do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
I don't want to take up Amanda's time. We could talk offline about that. We may also maybe do a combination of doing something also more personal. We may, I don't mind making a phone call, having a conversation, whatever. But go ahead, Amanda.
My other question is, so I know that we, are an advising body for policies, but the thing too is, do House representatives know of our availability as well? Because even though we are advising, like I'm assuming for the ADPC, having a body like we are to be able to go ahead and provide, valuable information to House representatives, I think is important as well, and it might also keep us busy. I
Mhm.
know House Representative Noss just tried to pass a bill, supporting Measure 110, and he did a lot of footwork in regards to creating workshops. But if he knew that we were available as well to like talk to individuals with shared experience, or with lived experience, that might be able to go ahead and help construct future House bills or whatever. So I
That's a
think that's a good use of our time.
really good point. Jill, would you have anything to add to that or any perspective? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No worries. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm off camera today because everybody in my house has a cold, so we're just hanging in there today. One of the things Amanda has a really good point, and Tori, one of the things I was thinking about in the future, what we need to do, and we can even start this during this session, is there are bills all the time over at the legislature having to do with substance use. For ADPC, we mainly talk about them in our public affairs subcommittee, but what we haven't always done a good job of is if it has something to do with prevention, making sure we're telling our prevention partners about it and getting their feedback, just so that it's always informing what we're saying at the legislature. If it has something to do with treatment, that we're talking about it in the treatment subcommittee, and if it has something to do with recovery, that we're talking about it in this group. And it works both ways, right? Like the members of the recovery subcommittee can go and do whatever they would like to do. So if there's information that we're passing along about this bill, we're having a discussion and people want to contact their legislators about it, they can totally do that. But it also helps us as ADPC be more informative in our discussions over at the legislature. So it goes both ways.
Mhm.
And it isn't something that we've done before, but that is actually probably a very good use of the resources in each one of our subcommittees to always be taking in their input on what's going on over at the legislature. Did that
Really?
make sense, Tori?
It does. I really love that idea. Really good idea. And as an example, Amanda, this discussion about the definition comes from Rep. Nose's workshop. They weren't able to come up with a definition, and it's going to be needed when the Secretary of State does its evaluation, because part of it is how many people are in recovery. Well, if we don't have a definition for recovery, it's hard to then quantify that number. And so we need help from experts to give us some options, or, tell us what we're missing. If Secretary of State does come up with a definition, for example, you could say, yeah, but not this, or add that, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So your voices are heard, and definitely input is definitely needed,
Yeah,
because
and I think like that information is just super important, right? To be able to know like where we fit into the larger puzzle. And so even though, we can't make specific decisions outside of our subcommittee, knowing how we fit into like the final piece, I think
okay,
is essential to be able to like create understanding and priority within, participation in the group.
I definitely get it. I got it. I hear you loud and clear. Okay. Okay.
Didn't Rep Nos give at that when we gave public testimony, didn't he give like a definition of recovery?
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I want to say that he did give
Jill,
one.
do you remember?
Yeah, and Adrian, you're right. So in the discussions in the work group, different people had different ideas about what the definition of recovery should be. And ultimately, I think everybody could agree to use the SAMHSA definition of recovery. And just in case you need to be reminded of it, I'll look it up and put it in the chat. Ultimately, that is what Representative Nose used in his ballot measure 110 bill, was the definition of recovery that SAMHSA uses. And I will also say, in the strategic plan, we don't have exactly a definition of recovery. We've got like some guiding principles of what recovery is, and those guiding principles are informed by SAMHSA's definition of recovery. So we were fine with using SAMHSA's definition.
Yeah, but we definitely need to shore it up and, make sure you guys are in agreement with it, because you're the community, you're the subject matter experts. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know. My hope is, that we can, get people to, be motivated to participate, because I feel like, all the subcommittees are important, but it's just like we have, a unique interest in this subcommittee because of our, lived experience, subject matter experts, and it's like, it would suck to see like, it sucks to see like an opportunity be, like squandered, I guess, like we're even less effective than, we think we are when we're all here, because we can't get stuff done. So
yeah, we'll get it together. We will, we'll talk to the committee and get their feedback on what they'd like to see different, and then we need to listen and implement it.
okay. And if you wanna like, if you think it would be helpful for you and I to meet like sometime next week for like 30 minutes to check in. I don't know exactly. Really, we could just keep it open. But I just want to like provide as much support as I possibly can.
Okay. Let's do it. All right. Well, thank you again, Amanda, for showing up and sharing with us your beautiful artwork. That put a smile on my face, at least today. I hope everybody who's nursing colds feel better soon.
I hope she feels better too. I hope all y'all feel better, but yeah.
Everybody, just health. Be well. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye. Hey, Jill, you want to stay on?
Yeah, I will.